Hello, today we are going to talk about one really important thing which I forgot to mention in my last video. Today we are going to talk about my experience with opening Tolluyyaan Tala, which is the Tala of Empitness, according to the Hindu Ayanist tradition. Now I will here shortly explain what the Talas are. The Talas essentially are the lower realms filled with negative energy. So according to Pishatra Mayalakan, my patron Asura, the demon from Hindu mythology, or actually he is not Asura demon, he is Pishatra demon. According to Mayalakan, Pishatra demon from Hindu mythology, there are 3 steps of merging with the Tala, or the lower dimension. The first step is the step of euphoria, which is you absorb the energy of the Tala, or the lower dimension, and you feel euphoric. The second step is partial ego dissolution, which is extremely traumatic. And the third step is actually you becoming that Tala. You becoming so merged with that energy that you technically commune with that Tala 24/7. You become a vehicle for that energy to flow through this world. And I technically reached the second step of merging with this Tala, which is I looked in the sigil for a time and I felt uplifted and euphoric, and then after energy kept coming in, I felt overwhelmed by it and became extremely depressive and suicidal. According to Mayalakan, that's normal process, because once we are overwhelmed by that energy, partial ego dissolution happens. And during that partial ego dissolution, we are confronted with the worst possible aspects of ourselves. In my case, it was my suicidal tendency to kill myself. To somebody who is extremely sexually perverted, it will probably be intention to rape somebody. To somebody who is extremely possessive of material things, it will probably be extreme greed. To somebody who is extremely insecure, it will probably be something related to his own narcissism or lack of self-confidence. What I tried to say in my previous video, in which I said that opening this particular negative dimension made me suicidal, I tried to warn people to not engage in this work lightly. Because a lot of people, they look at the Tala sigil for a time, they look at the Tala yantra, just like I did, and they feel euphoria. And then they continue and become overwhelmed by the energy, and become challenged by the Tala, challenged by the energy. And many of people who go into Tala too quickly, they end up either insane or fatally damaged. So the reason why I said in my previous video that you should be careful and that it made me suicidal, it wasn't to discourage everybody from working with the Talas. Quite the opposite. I personally work with the Talas almost exclusively to improve my health, finances and spiritual well-being. But work with the Talas is a really risky endeavor. So we should be careful when we try to tap into those lower dimensions. We need to understand as well that energy we are calling into this realm is not influencing only us. Maybe we do not see it, but it is really tangible and powerful physical energy, which when brought into this dimension through the science of yantra, mantra and concentration and adequate meditation, expands really quickly, like a form of energetic living creature. That energy expands. It feeds off resonant emotions and has a ripple effect. So let's say you are working with the Tala of Empitness. I tried to open and became suicidal. If you release too much energy of that Tala at the same time, it will expand exponentially and it will absorb the energy from the people in your environment, expanding really quickly in a ripple effect. So unintentionally, you can make already suicidal people in your environment more unstable by opening too much energy of this Tala into this world too quickly. Now, the reason I am giving these warnings is because we should understand that everything has two sides. So this specific Talic energy of Tolluyyaan Tala is extremely good for physical body and it's extremely good for empowering astral body. But it is only extremely good if we use it and apply it in a right proportion. If we, however, absorb too much energy too quickly, we can harm ourselves, but we can also harm our immediate environment. And in that case, we actually did what we should be doing. What we should be doing is we should be opening those energy portals to manifest our will and make our own reality more unified with the Brahman, either through the left-hand path or through the right-hand path. But if we push too much energy too quickly, without consideration, then we can destroy ourselves and our environment without actually manifesting any of our goals nor unifying anybody closer to the source. We would simply fuck things up without any necessary reason for it. So that's my stance on opening Talas. Open them, work with them, but be really careful. And it is my personal opinion that one should not open Talas without guidance from one of the more knowledgeable or powerful spirits. When I personally open Talas, I use guidance of Pishatra Mayalka to open Talas correctly. I personally am not intellectually capable, nor spiritually, to determine how much of Talic energy I can absorb on my own. So I carefully follow the guidance of Pishatra Mayalka in this case and for this kind of operation. So I recommend you to find your corresponding demon from the Book of Summoning Demons, published by the Iron World Foundation. Build a relationship with Dark Spirit. Partially merge with Dark Spirit through regular evocation and merging. And then after you got a grasp of those spiritual dimensions and technologies, proceed to open Talas with the help of your patron spirit. That's my advice. If anybody disagrees with me, he is free to apply knowledge as he wishes. I do not proclaim that I am any form of authority. I am here only to share my own knowledge and my own ignorance with you, so you can learn from my words. For the end of this video, I will let you to listen to me chanting the name of the Tala on a loop. And yantra for opening of the Tala I talked about will be presented on the screen. Thank you for your attention and see you tomorrow.